13 in MLS. And while many teams contended with depleted squads, others had to contend with the elements. The New York Red Bulls clash with Inter Miami was postponed due to bad weather. As ever, we'll be bringing you all the action from every game, including 2 long-awaited homecomings in Canada, with Toronto FC returning to BMO Field and CF Montreal's return to Stade Saputo, where we begin our review.
Club de Foot Montreal players took to the field in front of their home fans for the first time since last September, with 5,000 in attendance for the visit of FC Cincinnati. Watching this one was Dan Roebuck.
Mihailovic, and now Torres does well and drives forward. This is still Joaquin Torres, off the crossbar. Vermeer looked beaten, so close to an early goal for Montreal. Really good hit. Wanyama, the pressure from Medunjanin, and Cincinnati have managed to win it back. This is Acosta, this is Medunjanin! Cincinnati lead. It's a first of the season for Haris Medunjanin. Really good work from Cincinnati, hunting in packs and brilliantly placed by the Bosnian. Torres. Backing away from Torres again. Chouanier! Oh, it's off the post! Mihailovic! Should have scored from the rebound. Chouanier's cross-come shot ricochet back to Georgi Mihailovic. Long for Boreal. Can't quite get there. Song for Pantomis. Camacho. To the keeper again, will take a touch. That was a mistake, and Brenner is in, and Cincinnati have a second. It's his first goal since the first weekend of MLS soccer this season. Perfectly poached. Wanyama. Pelainen. Toy! Montreal have a goal back. A wonderfully worked goal by the home side, Wanyama, and Lapalainen stands it up perfectly for Mason Toy. Yao, under pressure from Mihailovic, and Toy. Kubo's lost possession. This is Wanyama. It's Victor Wanyama, tries to curl it, Vermeer with a save, and Torres pounces, and he has his goal. After striking the woodwork earlier, he draws Montreal level, his first for the club. Brenner. Real to control, he's done well. Well, that's a poor challenge, and that will be a free kick. Waterman will receive a yellow card as well here. Real standing over this. Baesia! Cincinnati in front once more. Onside? Yes! Baesia, who scored the last time that these two sides met, has done it again. Cincinnati sloppy. Torres. Still Torres! Oh, he's hit the post. He struck the woodwork for the second time in the match. Yapstan can't believe it. His side have got away with it again. Boreal looking to run at Camacho. He's twisted him inside and out. Great pace. Brenner finds the corner with a deft flick, and Cincinnati score 4 for the first time in franchise history. Well, credit Boreal here. Camacho beaten all ends up, and how about this for a finish from the Brazilian? Toy sprints forward, loses his marker, brought down, penalty, it's been given. Marcos Oliveira points to the spot. Vermeer saved his last 2 in Major League Soccer, but not this one. Toy gives Montreal and the home support some hope here. Torres skips one challenge, darts infield. Hamdi! 4-4! What a time to score your first Montreal goal. We're all square. Credit has to go to Torres again, but look at this for a finish. Just over 3 minutes remaining. Mihailovic. Brogia. And he delivered the cross high to the back post. Mindful for Hamdi! Incredible! He's done it again! From 2 down and 4-2 down, it is 5-4. What a sensational comeback!
Obviously, we don't like these type of games, conceding 4 goals and having to score 5, but it touches on our resilience as a team. We never give up, we never give in, and we just keep going, we keep fighting, and we keep playing our game.
Like Montreal, Toronto FC returned home for the first time in 10 months. They were back at BMO Field to take on Orlando City, the club who'd hosted all of TFC's previous home games this year. The Lions were looking to respond after successive defeats and went close early on through Nani's free kick. Having been frozen out by former coach Chris Armas, Jose Altidore made his Toronto return as a second-half sub, and his impact was impressive.
Morrow's ball into the box. Altidore through! Jose Altidore is back for Toronto FC!
A goal just 8 minutes after coming off the bench for his first appearance in nearly 2 months. But further drama followed almost immediately. Toronto were originally given a free kick here when Alex Bono collided with Benji Michel, but a penalty was instead awarded on video review. The keeper was close to making amends when Nani stepped up to the spot. But Bono couldn't stop the Orlando skipper scoring his 7th goal of the season to level it at 1-1. That's how it finished, despite the Lions threatening to complete the turnaround. Sub Andres Pereira unable to take advantage of a big chance that came his way late on. The point takes Toronto off the bottom of the East.
DC United's last match was a 7-1 demolition of Toronto FC. It was never going to be as easy against the Philadelphia Union, who took the lead through Sergio Santos. Jim Curtin's side hadn't won any of their last 3, but looked in dominant mood against the capital club. Santos only denied another goal by Bill Hamid's reaction save. DC hadn't won at Subaru Park for over 7 years, but rallied as the half wore on. Yamil Assad's close-range shot pushed onto the bar by Joe Bendick. 3 different substitutes scored for DC in their win over Toronto. This time, a replacement made a difference by winning a penalty. Jordi Reyna brought down by Santos. Alex Chilowitz awarding the spot kick for this challenge. Assad had a 100% conversion rate from 12 yards, a record he did not give up. Buoyed by an expectant crowd, the Union thought they'd gone in front again with 20 minutes remaining. Santos pouncing after Kasper Shabilko had played him in. However, the Brazilian was offside and the goal ruled out, much to Curtin's frustration. The pair did combine successfully a little later, however, to ensure a crucial win for the hosts. Santos this time the provider, Shabilko with a finish for his 9th goal of the season in all competitions. Just 5 minutes later, the match was suspended for over an hour and a half due to an electrical storm, but the Union had already struck before the game was eventually completed.
Chicago Fire assistant Frank Klopas took charge at Nashville, with head coach Raphael Wicki absent for personal reasons. The home side had lost just one of their first 12 matches this season and opened the scoring 10 minutes into the game through Hani Mukhtar, who clinically dispatched his 5th goal of the campaign. That equalled his total from the whole of last year, and Mukhtar topped it a little over 2 minutes later. This brilliant effort highlighting his confidence right now. Chicago came into the game off the back of successive victories, but were almost out of this one before it had barely begun. Their torrid start continuing when centre-back Johan Kappelhoff was shown a straight red card for bringing down former Fire forward CJ Sapong. Leaving his side to play over 3/4 of the game, a man short. From the free kick that followed, a little piece of MLS history.
And he makes it free! It's an amazing 15.5-minute hat-trick from Hadi Mukhtar.
The earliest into a match anyone has ever scored an MLS hat-trick. It was turning into one of those nights for Chicago, a sense only compounded by this miss from last season's top scorer, Robert Beric. To make matters worse, it was 4 just moments later, with Beric's former strike partner, Sapong, helping himself to his 3rd Nashville goal since making the move from Illinois for this year. He reaped the reward on the rebound, having played in Randall Leal. The only brief respite for the Fire came at the start of the second half, when fortune finally favoured them in the penalty area, less than 2 minutes after the restart. Ignacio Aliseda was eventually presented with a straightforward finish to make it 3 goals in his last 3 matches. It was Nashville, though, who had the final say in the scoring just past the hour. Mukhtar, for once, was thwarted by the frame of the goal, but the danger wasn't dealt with, and it was left to Brian Anunga to score his first goal for the club and make it 5-1. That sealed Nashville's biggest ever MLS victory.
Just the second ever Columbus Crew match at Lower.com Field, New York City FC the visitors. The away side were level on points with their hosts in the Eastern Conference standings and started promisingly. Valentin Castellanos' goal-bound effort spectacularly parried away by Eloy Room. The MLS Cup champions then began to move through the gears. Darlington Nagbe found Saad Abdul Salam, whose centre was met by Miguel Berry. Luis Baranza with the save. Caleb Porter's side were on top, but it was Ronnie Dyler's team that should have opened the scoring. Thiago's control and layoff was perfect for Gudmundur Thorarinsson. Room's stop popped up for Castellanos, but the Argentine inexplicably failed to find the target from a yard out. With less than a minute of added-on time remaining in the opening period, though, the Crew broke through.
Darlington Nagbe! Nagbe!
7 of New York City FC's last 8 goals had come in the second half. True to that form, the visitors came flying out of the blocks to level 2 minutes after the restart. Credit the persistence of Nicolas Acevedo and the precision of Jesus Medina. That meant the Crew needed their main man.
Zelarayan!
New York City FC's best chance to snatch a point came just over a dozen minutes from time, but Ismail Tajori Shradi's strike flew wide of the target, leaving the Crew to snap a run of 3 straight draws with a 2-1 victory.
Gabriel Ansa's decision to leave out a fit Joseph Martinez, despite seeing Atlanta go a club record 7 MLS games without a win, only added to the pressure as the Five Stripes hosted the table-topping New England Revolution. Martinez's ongoing omission was all the more notable given the number of other Atlanta absentees through injury or international duty. Marcelino Moreno is their 3-goal top scorer in MLS this term, and it was he who threatened an opener against the Revs. The visitors had lost all 4 of their previous visits to Mercedes-Benz Stadium, but made the breakthrough here as Adam Buxer teed up strike partner Gustavo Bou. His deflected effort was the 7th goal of the season for the in-form Argentine, 6 of them coming in his last 7 matches. Atlanta were denied the swiftest of equalisers when Matchup Chol, making only his 2nd MLS start, stabbed in what would have been a first senior goal for the homegrown player. But the offside flag went up to deny him, and replays proved the close call was the correct one. Instead, the Revs, searching for a first win in 4 matches, went close to doubling their lead. A brilliant attempt from captain Carlos Gil beat keeper Alec Can, but not the post. Can was then relieved when Buxer's effort was struck straight at him, as New England's lead remained a fragile one. meant the match was still in the balance going into the closing stages. But Atlanta were restricted to long-range efforts like this from debutant Amir Sejdic as they slipped to a first home league loss of the season, with Einser relieved of his duties by the club the following day after just 17 matches in charge.
At Allianz Field, Minnesota United faced unbeaten Seattle Sounders. Your commentator is Phil Blacker.
Reynoso standing over the free kick, he'll fancy this, and it wasn't too far away. Dipping but not quite quickly enough from Reynoso, took the ball out of the equation. Fragapane with the corner for Minnesota, in dangerously towards Debassi, who got the touch, and beyond him Reynoso couldn't quite do likewise. Just agonisingly away from him. Sounders beat Minnesota 4-0 on the opening weekend. They haven't really looked back since this season. And they press here. Montero with a fine through ball, Medranda in. And Tyler Miller down to make the save. Fairly comfortable stop against his former club in the end to deny Jimmy Medranda. Sounders finishing this first half strongly, patient and probing in possession here. Finding Rui Diaz to have a go. Miller equal to it once more. Well, Rui Diaz looks for his league-leading 11th MLS goal of the season. To aim at from the corner kick for João Paulo. In it goes, and off Sissoko and away. Off the post from Fragapane. He was perfectly positioned there to make the clearance. Assessing his options again from this Seattle set piece in towards Arriaga, who gets his head to it but immediately looks to check, and the flag is up, and that one is not going to count. Would have been a second Seattle goal for the Ecuadorian, but it's the correct call. It's long for Lurt to chase, and he's in behind here. Sissoko trying to get back to him. Does he pull him down? Well, no penalty given. Big appeal from Adrian Heath on his side, but Alan Kelly has waved it away. This is a big call. Minnesota attacking with intent, and they've worked it really well here for Nico Hampson. He's continued his run. He's got Lurd unmarked in the middle to apply the finishing touch, and it's the breakthrough goal for the Loons. It's Lurd who scored, back from duty with Finland at the European Championship, and he has Minnesota heading here for their first ever win over Seattle. The Sounders' unbeaten start to the season might be ending at Allianz Field here. Robin Lurd makes it 1-0.
We know they've got a few injuries, they've got a few people away, but you look at the starting 11 that they put out, there's probably 7 of them played most of the games this year. We knew it was going to be tough today, but overall, you know, it's a big win for us and it sets us up nicely for next week.
LAFC and Real Salt Lake faced off for the second time this month. Bob Bradley's side took all 3 points at Rio Tinto Stadium. Back in California, it appeared the hosts would have little trouble completing a quick-fire double when Diego Rossi netted inside the opening 10 minutes. However, RSL are made of sterner stuff these days, and having only been beaten once away from home this year, they struck back, Aaron Herrera supplying the finish to a rapid counter-attack. We have rarely seen the best of Carlos Vela for one reason or another over the last 18 months. The Mexican went so close with this spectacular strike, but his time would come. LAFC dominated the second half and were awarded a penalty when Raheem Edwards' shot was blocked by Herrera's arm. Robert Sibiga awarded the spot kick. Vela, who'd missed his last penalty in MLS, took centre stage, but like last time, he failed to convert. David Ochoa with a stunning save. The 2019 MLS MVP would not be denied though, and with 12 minutes remaining, sent the Bank of California Stadium wild. Vela back to his best, and a third straight win for LAFC.
While Real Salt Lake played in LA, the Galaxy made the trip to Rio Tinto Stadium to face a Vancouver side still unable to return to Canada. And in just the 5th minute, recent arrival Ryan Ravalusone headed the visitors in front. That was the Madagascan's second goal in successive matches. And the Galaxy briefly thought they had a second in this game, only for Ethan Zubak to be ruled offside when touching in Samuel Gronsear's cross. This one didn't count after a video review. Next, Gronsear decided to go it alone and will count himself unfortunate to still be waiting for his first MLS goal. The Galaxy had won their previous 2 away games, including against Vancouver just last month. But the Caps battled back after the break in this one, with Diber Caicedo slamming home the equaliser within 3 minutes of the second half starting. They'd begun the day bottom of the West and without a win in 8 matches. But that was all to change going into the closing quarter of an hour. Brian White and Christian Dajome combined patiently before the Colombian crashed home his 5th goal of the season, to return the Whitecaps to winning ways for the first time since early May.
The third Cascadia team, the Portland Timbers, suffered their joint heaviest defeat of the season against FC Dallas back in May. The return match at a packed Providence Park looked like it might go the same way. Ricardo Pepi glancing wide. The Texans had lost all 5 of their away games this year, but belied that form as they continued to pour forward. Pepi striking the post when it looked easier to score. The Timbers had much more control in the second half and were building significant momentum as time began to run out. Jimmy Chara firing wide from close in. But sure enough, in their very next attack, Giovanni Savarese's men found a way past the Dallas defence.
There's the breakthrough!
Relief and euphoria as the Timbers poached a dramatic success.
Finally this week, the Colorado Rapids came into their game against San Jose, sat comfortably in the playoff positions and unbeaten at home in 5 matches, but found themselves behind early on when Chofis fired home his 3rd MLS goal since his loan move from Mexico. The Quakes were aiming for a first win in 9 matches, but their lead came under pressure late in the first half. Cole Bassett wasn't far away from restoring parity for the Rapids. Not to be deterred, the 19-year-old was to do exactly that the other side of the interval. 8 minutes into the second half, it was 1-1, with Bassett finding the finish this time. His 3rd goal of the season was a memorable one. It wasn't the end of the drama though, with the challenges flying in. After this one, on Michael Barrios, tempers began to fray somewhat. It's not uncommon to see a coach get into trouble for something said to the officials in such situations, with Matias Almeida shown a yellow card here, but more unusual was the red received by his translator, with Augustin Salazar, the one dismissed from the dugout. San Jose almost had the final say, only for Chris Wondolowski's free kick to clear the crossbar with the last kick of the contest, and it ended all square.
Colorado's draw kept them in 4th place, with the top 5 positions unchanged after week 13. The Portland Timbers moved into the playoff places. Their win over FC Dallas left the Texans bottom of the West.
The Philadelphia Union leapfrogged Orlando City into 2nd place in the East, with the New England Revolution extending their lead at the top to 4 points. At the other end, Toronto moved off the foot of the table.
The continued absence of star striker Josef Martinez once again proved costly for Atlanta and for Gabriel Ainsa. Defeat to New England ending his tenure as coach. Martinez could be back next week, and MLS's other sharpshooters have shown him how it's done.
Josie Altidore is back!
This copyrighted broadcast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.